All right, so are you ready to dive into some deep waters today? We're tackling a big question.
Oh, yeah. Hit me with it.
Is the unexamined life really not worth living? We hear that and we're like, wow, that's kind of heavy. And we're exploring this whole idea
Yeah.
through a pretty unique source. It's an AI tutor's response
Okay.
to that very question.
Yeah.
So,
It is a pretty bold statement coming from anyone, let alone an AI.
yeah.
Right.
Right.
It makes you wonder about the AI. Is it self-aware?
Exactly. And it's funny because we've got this AI tackling the wisdom of Socrates,
Yeah.
like the OG philosopher, right?
Yeah.
So this AI breaks down Socrates' famous quote in a way that's surprisingly insightful.
Yeah, I was surprised when I first read this. Really highlighted how self-knowledge was essential for Socrates. He believed that understanding ourselves, our values, our beliefs, even our motivations, those are essential to living a good life.
I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the AI really emphasized that whole examined life thing, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's more than just, facts. It's about constantly questioning things,
Right.
challenging assumptions, and even pushing back against societal norms.
Oh, I see. So it's not just examining yourself.
That's examining the world around you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is Socrates believed that real knowledge leads to virtuous action.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And on the other side of the unexamined life, he saw that as being a life lived in ignorance, passively accepting things without ever questioning why.
Yeah, you just sort of go along, get along.
Exactly. You're sleepwalking through life.
Yeah, and you might make some bad decisions that way.
For sure. But there's another layer to this idea.
Okay.
Socrates was known for being a gadfly,
Oh, right.
a term that AI hopefully explains for us.
Right.
He was always provoking people, challenging their beliefs, even if it made him unpopular. He really believes in the power of truth, even if it cost him his life.
Wow. So not just examining our own lives, but pushing society to examine itself too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I wonder if we're missing some of that gadfly spirit today.
I think so.
Are we too comfortable?
Yeah, are we too comfortable with our own unexamined opinions?
Yeah. That's something to think about.
Yeah.
And it's really fascinating to me
What's that?
how the AI itself seems to be engaging with this philosophical idea. It's not just, spitting out information.
Right.
It's advocating for this self-reflection.
Yeah, it's almost like it's
Questioning, seeking knowledge.
embodying the very philosophy.
Right.
It's explaining. It's a little freaky.
It is a little freaky, but also amazing.
Right.
Are we on the verge of having these AIs that can truly think like humans?
Well, that's a big question, isn't it? I think philosophers and computer scientists will be debating that for years to come.
Right.
But it is interesting to see an AI grappling with these questions.
Yeah.
It really adds a new dimension.
Yeah. And it doesn't stop there.
Oh, no. Keep going.
Right. The AI introduces us to a whole bunch more thinkers who have wrestled with these same questions.
Oh, yeah. Like who?
About the meaning of life,
Okay.
the value of knowledge, the role of personal choice.
Yeah.
It's like a crash course in existentialism.
Right. A philosophy that grapples with the essence of our being
Exactly.
in a world without inherent meaning.
Yeah. The AI brings up Bertrand Russell, who saw philosophy as a tool to break free from prejudice and dogma.
Right.
Then there's Tolstoy and Camus and William James, each grappling with meaning.
All big thinkers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in their own unique ways. And of course, we can't forget Sartre
Right.
with the right.
Condemned to be free.
It's a lot of ideas, but the AI does a good job of connecting all these different perspectives back to that central point that Socrates was making.
Yeah, it's not just name dropping. It's pulling out specific ideas
Right.
to support or challenge Socrates.
Yeah, for example, Dostoevsky.
Oh, yeah.
Right. In Notes from the Underground, he shows us characters that choose self-destruction,
Right.
even when they know a path to happiness.
Right. And that makes it a little more complicated.
For sure.
Then Socrates' idea that knowledge leads to virtue.
Yeah, I think it shows how complex humans are.
Right.
We're not always rational.
Yeah,
We don't always act in our own best interests.
that's for sure.
And then there's Tolstoy finding meaning through faith,
Yeah,
which contrasts with Socrates' emphasis on reason,
right,
and James, who was all about action,
right.
not just contemplation. So you can see how even an age-old question like, what is the good life, that has no one answer.
Right. But maybe that's the point
Yeah, what do you think?
of the whole examined life thing.
Yeah,
It's not about finding the right answer,
right.
but it's about the journey of exploration, the questioning, the considering different points of view.
It's about being open
Yeah,
to new ways of thinking, which is what we're doing right now
that's true.
in this conversation. We're examining Socrates
Through
in the lens of an AI.
Right.
And we're comparing it with all these other thinkers. Exactly. It's layers upon layers.
layers upon layers of examination.
I love it.
Yeah.
But now I'm curious, what about you, dear listener? Where do you stand on all of this?
Yeah. Does this idea of self-reflection feel necessary for a meaningful life? Or do you see value in accepting some things without question?
Right.
Maybe leaning on tradition or faith or even just gut feeling. Those are all questions worth considering as we continue our deep dive.
Right.
All these ideas, it's fascinating to think how they'd play out in our own lives.
Right.
We've been talking big picture stuff, but
Yeah.
what about everyday decisions?
Okay, so let's get practical. Imagine you're facing a big decision,
Yeah.
like a career change.
Okay.
How would these thinkers approach that?
Well, Socrates,
Yeah.
that involves some serious self-assessment.
Like what?
What are your talents, really?
Yeah.
What work matches your values?
Yeah.
What brings fulfillment? It's all about reason and introspection
Oh, I see.
to guide your path.
Okay, but then Tolstoy might say, hold on, what about faith? What feels right in your soul?
Exactly. And James, with his focus on action,
Right.
he'd say, experiment, take the leap and learn as you go. Don't just think about it. Do it.
It's like having all these advisors in your head.
Yeah, a whole panel of them.
It'd be crowded.
It's a little crowded in there.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Trying to bring together all those voices.
You have to weigh their insights.
Right. And ultimately make a choice that feels right to you.
So it's not about blindly following one philosophy,
No.
but using them as tool.
Yeah, to navigate life's complexities.
Exactly. Which brings us back to that big question.
Yeah.
The one we started with. Is the unexamined life really not worth living?
It's a strong statement, don't you think?
Yeah, but maybe Socrates wasn't being so literal.
Right.
Maybe he was just trying to shake people up,
Right.
get them to think about life more consciously.
To engage more deeply.
Right.
I think you're right. It's not about judging people who don't overthink everything, but showing how valuable self-reflection is.
Right.
Questioning, striving for awareness.
So less judgment, more of an invitation.
Yeah.
Wake up and pay attention.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
about cultivating this inner dialogue.
Yeah.
Asking yourself, why am I doing this? Is this what I value? Is this the life I want?
And even if you don't have a profound answer,
Yeah.
just asking those questions.
Has value in itself.
Yeah.
You grow.
Yeah.
You learn about yourself, the world, and ultimately...
Earth.
Exactly. It's like that saying, the journey is the destination.
Right. Or maybe in this case, the questioning is the answer.
Beautifully put. And that's where the AI's conclusion comes in, those big open-ended questions.
Yeah.
Remember, do you believe constant self-reflection is necessary for a meaningful life?
Right.
Is there value in accepting things without question?
Tough questions.
They are. No easy answer.
Right.
And what's right for one person might not be right for another.
Exactly. It's part of that self-discovery journey.
Yeah. And that's the point, isn't it? Not finding the right answers,
Yeah.
but wrestling with these ideas.
Right.
Embracing the uncertainty, learning and growing along the way.
Right.
So as we continue our deep dive,
Yeah.
keep those questions in mind.
Keep exploring. Keep questioning.
Exactly. And keep seeking out those moments of connection and insight.
Because, Socrates might say, the unexamined life is not worth living. But examining that life,
Yeah.
that's an adventure.
That's an adventure worth having.
It's funny how we started with this AI tutor,
Yeah.
and now it's like we're having our own Socratic dialogue here.
Yeah, it's like the AI sparked this whole chain reaction.
Exactly. And this whole idea of the examined life.
Yeah.
It's not just some abstract philosophy.
Right.
It's something we can actually use in our everyday lives.
Yeah, a way of being in the world.
Yeah.
That can bring more clarity, purpose, even joy.
Joy. Yeah, I think that's important.
Yeah.
Socrates wasn't just about this serious self-examination. He saw beauty in the pursuit of knowledge.
Yeah, the wonder
Right.
in wrestling with these big questions.
Exactly. So it's not about being serious and somber all the time.
No,
It's about being curious and playful.
absolutely. Being open to new ideas, different perspectives.
Yeah.
And even the possibility that we might be wrong.
It's like having a mental playground,
Yeah.
right? Where you can explore different concepts,
Challenge your assumptions.
expand your understanding.
And the more perspectives we bring to that playground,
Yay.
the richer it becomes.
So it doesn't matter if it's Socrates or Tolstoy
Yeah.
or an AI tutor or even just your own experiences.
Right.
The key is to keep that curiosity alive.
To never stop asking why.
Yeah,
Challenge yourself to be open to learning something new every day.
I love that. And speaking of learning something new,
Yeah.
it's time to go back to those questions the AI tutor left us with.
Oh, yeah. Those are good.
Remember, it asked us, do you think constant self-reflection is necessary for a meaningful life?
Right. And is there any value in the unexamined life?
Or accepting things without question?
Yeah, tough questions.
There's no easy answer.
Nope. And what's right for one person might not be right for another.
That's true. It's all part of that self-discovery journey.
And that's where the value is.
Yeah.
Not finding the right answers,
Right.
but in wrestling with those questions.
Embracing the uncertainty.
Exactly. Learning and growing along the way.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, listeners,
Yeah.
keep those questions in mind.
Keep exploring.
Keep questioning.
Keep searching for those moments of insight and connection.
Because, as Socrates might say, the unexamined life is not worth living.
Yeah. But the journey of examining that life,
Yeah,
that's an adventure worth having.
absolutely. That's it for this deep dive.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
See you next time.